for Tim and Sid. Time for Tim and Sid. Time for Tim and Sid. Time for Tim and Sid.
Oh, yeah. It's time for real sports talk with Tim McCallum and Sid Sexero.
Muchas gracias, sheepdogs. Back here for another full hour on Tim and Sid alongside Danielle Michaud. Sid Sexero remains on vacation till around October. Still to come, afternoon baseball highlights, including the Jays dropping the finale in Boston to the Red Sox.
But we're going to start this hour with what everyone's been waiting for, a little hockey, because we're starting with Mitch Marner.
Well, what are the Leafs going to pay Mitch Marner after the season he's having? Here's Mitch Marner, waits, takes, scores! You can just see the confidence growing. Puck seems to follow him around at every chance. Here's Marner scoring! Here's Marner in looking for another one down low, back in front for Marner, he scores! I'll tell you what, Mitch Marner's one incredible hockey player that's going to be a very rich man at some point.
Yes, he might be the most talked about NHL player this offseason, and for good reason. Not only did he lead the Leafs in scoring for the second straight season, he helped quarterback a pretty good power play. He created some serious chemistry with John Tavares. He also killed penalties, and seemingly is a killer wake surfer who also knocked it out of the park in some TV commercials that he is now starring in. And oh yeah, he's also hosting the second annual Marner All-Star Invitational presented by Intact Insurance. I'm sure not missing anything on the resume for Mitch Marner this offseason and what he's got going on, right?
Timmy, he's an RFA.
Whatever. Mitch Marner joins us now from his charity event. Mitch, welcome back to Tim and Sid today with Danielle.
Thank you.
So I figure you got a few things going on. Do you want to add anything more to the equation? I mean actor, wake surfer, and apparently a pretty good one, though we're wondering how many takes it took you to get to that spot on the wake surfing?
It took me a couple, but that was my first one, so you can only imagine how excited I was about it.
That's the first time that you had ever landed a 360, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that was the first one I ever did. I got it on video, too. I made sure everyone was filming the whole entire take.
I feel like I'm more impressed by the dance moves, if I'm being honest. But now that you're saying it's your first one, it's tough.
Yeah, I'm happy I kept the dance moves in. I almost took the dance moves right out, so thankfully I kept them in.
A little shimmy there. Let's talk about the event that you're throwing tonight. Fully sold out for this year, so if you're planning, you better be planning for next year at MarnerAssistFund.com. Why is this thing important to you?
Well, I mean, being in Toronto, the media always gives you the light that you need, and they're always around. So that kind of, I think last year or the year before, I came to Natasha and at If Factor and asked her if she could help me with this event, and she said no problem. And last year was a great hit. We had 21 teams. This year we're sold out, like you said. We got 31, and you know, it's going to be another fun weekend, and we're looking forward to it. It should be exciting.
And you're coaching for this year's event, and of course there's the skills comp that comes into play, and I would have zero interest in trying any of these skills. Or is there any that you're like, I'll pass, I don't want to embarrass myself, or it's harder than it looks?
Yeah, the hardest shot. I don't want any part of that. don't want to do that one.
Who's? I mean, you've got a pretty good list of guys who are showing up. John Tavares is showing up. Michael Del Cole is showing up. Nazem Kadri. There's a long list of dudes showing. Who is the guy in the mix who can show off and maybe tries a little too hard to show off by taking it a tad seriously?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, we got a couple of young guys coming in this year from the OHL that possibly could be making the jump to the NHL next year. So maybe one of those guys. I mean, we got Ratcliffe, we got Suzuki, we got Frost, we got a couple others. So, I mean, I'm sure they're going to go pretty hard in the skills comp tomorrow. It should be fun watching them.
Yeah, prove they belong.
Right.
I get it, yeah.
Marner, I know we don't need to tell you this, but free agency, a lot of chatter. What do you sort of do to stay away from it, or how do you deal with this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, just not focusing too much. My agent's taking care of all that. And for me, you know, it's just going and trying to do 360s on a wakeboard. So that's kind of the thing that's been keeping me away from all of it.
We can't do the interview without asking you about the contract. Do you feel like you're any closer to getting a deal done?
I mean, it's still the same as the summer started. My agent's doing all that. I'm leaving it all to him. For me, it's kind of just focusing on this event and just trying to get better this summer for next year.
You talk about the importance of Toronto and being able to give back to Toronto. How important is it for you to stay in the city?
Yeah, I mean, all of them are important. It's a place I grew up. It's a place that I'd love to give back to and help out as many people as I can. And hopefully something works out.
In a Cap world, we idiots in the press, and to a lesser extent, the team fans have to worry about things like who your team can afford. As you go through this process, you've already lost a really good friend in Patrick Marleau, who ended up getting dealt. Nazem Kadri moved, maybe not for the same reasons. Do you have to worry about who else the team can afford and how good the team is once you sign a deal with any team?
I mean, it's an unfortunate business. It sucks to be a part of. Trades happen, and you lose a lot of good buddies. But, I think the people that have been brought in, they can help the team a lot. And, it looks like it should be a good team.
So Kadri's there today. Is it tough to not have him around every day, or would it be tough to not have him around every day?
Yeah, I mean, him and Patty both, they meant a lot to me, especially after Martin left. Naz was kind of the guy that looked over us young guys and helped us out on the ice, and we're kind of the protector. And he did a lot for our team on the ice as well. Just 5-on-5 power play. He was, no matter what shift, he was giving it his all, and he's definitely a guy we're going to miss. And same as Patty. I mean, he brought it every day and was a guy that you could talk to about anything, and he'd be honest with you. So, we'll miss them both in the locker room.
The relationship that you guys ended up kind of having with Patrick Marleau and his family, is that something that you see often? Did you see it happening when he came? From the outside looking in, it looked pretty special.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of crazy thinking about it now, looking back at how it all happened. But, he's a guy that meant a lot to me in Austin and our whole team. He did a lot for us, his family as well, having us over a lot of the time on the weekdays for dinner and, hanging out with their kids. It was just a lot of fun playing mini sticks on a constant basis and, kind of breaking your back a little bit, but it was always so much fun playing with them. And, it's a guy that comes around once in a lifetime and someone that I'm very special to now be friends with.
It's funny. As you were saying that, I whispered to Danielle, mini sticks. Like, who's going to play mini sticks with Marner and Matthews?
Yeah.
Like, how do you replace the mini sticks? And important question, when playing mini sticks, did you use the foam puck or did you go full ball?
No, we're going foam ball, I think, most of the time.
Wow.
It gets deadly out there, though. His four kids do not mess around on that. Whatever you want to call what they got on the ground, they do not mess around on that, and they go hard.
All right.
More importantly, you've also blessed them with the YMCA, which I think they'll take with them forever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the YMCA was a pretty special one, too. That thing blew up quickly. Yeah.
So going back to your event, Mitch, you won last year, but tell me, is this just because everyone didn't want to beat you, or did you actually win?
I don't know. I think it was rigged. I said right away it was rigged, but I made sure this year that it's an honest event and everyone gets an honest try to win it. And I mean, like we talked about before, I think a couple of young guys could come up here and snag that trophy easily. So it should be a fun event. We got a lot of skilled players, and I'm excited for it.
All right, it looks like we got the David Buster's sign in the background, so we're going to go let you play some of those games. And please post the Pop-A-Shot score, okay?
Yeah, I'll try my best. We'll see what happens.
Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, there is Mitch Marner on the eve of what is the draft party for the event that will take place tomorrow.
MarnerAssistFund.com if you want to check it out for next year. Completely sold out, which surprises me 0% because I did get a chance to stop by the event for its inaugural opening last year, and it was really well done. And the players seemed invested. It was a cool opportunity for the kids that got to be coached by him. It was really cool.
I would love to participate. And then listen, I am not a player in any way, shape, or form, but I love the average Joe stuff, and I would love to participate in something like that. Just for the slight chance that you could capture that magic for a moment.
Right? It was fun, too, to see, like, Matt Martin was not fooling around.
Oh, yeah, he was real?
Oh, man, he was serious. He was like, you think I'm going to come in here and get beat by all of these clowns? No chance. So I like that he went in with that fire. You know?
It feels like, though, especially if you're of the Matt Martin ilk, where you can play, but people think of you as a fighter, that you would have to lay it down so that they wouldn't think of you in that way.
Show your skill.
Not shocking the way he answered the contract questions, because we knew going in that he's in a tough spot. Listen, he wanted to bring attention to his charity. I think that he knew that he was going to get these questions going in, and that's about as much as we were going to get.
He could have very easily not talked to us at all, so it was nice for him to join us and entertain the question that we have to ask, right?
Right.
He knows it's coming, I'm sure, and he's not in a position right now to really be able to say much, as the answer is I'm leaving it up to the people that I put in charge of said things.
And people aren't used to kind of real talk when you do an interview and you come out, but this is the real talk of the situation. The guy came on to plug his charity, knowing full well that he wanted to have some light shined on his charity, but he was going to be asked really tough questions. So we just applaud him for coming on and knowing that he's going to face those questions. The real question that I have is, did Mitch Marner steal Sid Seixeiro's jacket?
It was very close.
I was going to bring it up on air, but I'm not so sure.
Wow.
Now,
Style tips from Sid is an interesting plot twist I didn't see happening with this Marner interview.
I will say, and maybe you're a little bit more of a stylistic one than I am, but the black lapel adds a little to the jacket that Sid can't bring.
It's a bold look. It's an NBA draft night jacket to me.
Yeah, he also brought a few less chins to the equation. That's a story for another day.
Will Sid come back with more of a tan?
He is,
They've got the hair, though, flowing in the same direction. This is actually quite a nice still shot.
Somewhere Marner is screaming at the TV. He's like, what?
Stop comparing us.
Let me see.
Like
Rome weather.
It's got to be blazing hot. Like the rest of the world.
The high of 35 tomorrow.
With humidity?
But I feel like Seixeiro's not the guy who lays out in the sun.
No, he's definitely in an air-conditioned place.
Yeah, he's in an air-conditioned place sipping Moretti.
What's the beer? Yeah, it's Moretti. Sure.
Anyway, Vinny?
What's the beer?
Peroni.
Peroni's
Moretti,
delicious.
Peroni. Those are my two
refreshing
favorite Italian beers. But if you want me to walk down the road of more Italian beers, I can.
You could if I needed you to.
Yes.
I don't think that was part of today, but I appreciate it.